Larry,
There's a whole
Larry,
coming up.
hey Larry, I need you to back up and start over because I'm not sure that I started the broadcast properly.
From the beginning.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Tell me when.
Yeah, no, go ahead now. It's on.
All right, folks. Today is the 22nd of March, Friday, 2019. We're reading the first in case it was going out because we're afraid it wasn't going out. So to reiterate what I've already said, a lot of things are going on, but you're not hearing about it. One of the things that President Trump did is he signed over and gave our position to support Israel in owning the Golan Heights. And the Golan Heights is simply perfect launching pad for the Palestinians to constantly harass and kill people in Israel. That property sets up where they can lob missiles to just about every place in Israel. So Israel had no choice but to claim it, take it, and Trump's behind them, as he should be. What I had said earlier, if you heard, if you weren't on, I'm going to tell you again, if you go behind closed doors in the countries in the Middle East, most of them will tell you that even though publicly they will badmouth Trump and his decision, they're very proud that he did. Because at any time, all of the countries there know that the Palestinian conflict can light the match that destroys the whole region. So that was a good move. Don't get talked out of it. That was a good move. The other thing that's happening is of the major candidates in the Democratic Party running for president, a goodly number of them have declined to go to the APAC convention and speak. And folks, that is an absolute slam against Israel, against Jews. It truly is. There's a whole culture coming up in this young bunch. They're for socialism, although they do not know what socialism really means, but they're for it. They're for being against Israel, although they don't know what that really means. If you ask them, I dare to say they could not justify their position against our relationship with Israel. They just can't. But in this new world that they've got planned, it follows the socialism guys all the way. All the way. And dare to say there's not a socialist country in the world that favors Israel. I can't tell you the lineage, I can't tell you the heritage, why they're that way. That is the way it is. This new lead coming up in the Democratic Party scares the Jesus out of me. It really does. They're reckless with the things they're proposing. They're destructive with the things they intend to do, that they say they want to do. And above all else, it makes absolutely no sense. No sense at all. But it's the way they are. It's the way they've been trained. It's the way they've been brainwashed. And I say to you again, the signs read more clearly now than ever that the election of November 2020 is going to be a huge election towards the future of our nation. Huge. And we have to be in it. We have to be in it. So with that, if you've got questions or comments, get them in, please. I can tell you on the front of the criminal referrals that are coming, both against low-level people in the Clinton Foundation and in Uranium One, that they're fingers, and we'll start seeing whether William Law is real or not. What he chooses to do with these referrals will tell us pretty quick whether Trump made a good choice, or if once again he made a mistake in the Attorney General. I say once again, he didn't make a mistake with Jeff Sessions, but popularity and everything considered, he had to let it go. And much work Sessions did, you'll see pay off in the future. You will. Now everybody's all uptight about Wheeler's report coming out. For some reason, I do not know, but for some reason, President Trump and apparently many of the Republicans, even the Democrats, believe that Wheeler's report is going to come back benign, and it's going to come back and there's going to be nothing. Folks, I'm going to tell you, I know Robert Wheeler. I know most of the gang of prosecutors he brought in with him. I know their MO and how they operate. I will find it shocking if Mueller does not come up with some conclusion to hurt President Trump. Now, I don't know if it'll be a direct charge of some kind of crime that he's going to make against the president, or if it's going to be the fact that he didn't find anything, but then the way he's going to write his summation of the report, it's going to leave Democrats with plenty of ammunition to further attack the president. And this is my opinion. I can only tell you that the happiness everybody seems to be enjoying right now with thinking that report's going to come back and it's going to be nothing, they better hold on. It's hard to believe you would spend 2 years with millions and millions of dollars they did and come out with nothing. It's just not their style. They're not going to do that. If they have to make it up, which they will, they'll make it up. Mary Ellen's anybody sent a question?
No, sir. We have 30 watching, and nobody's chatting right now. So,
Folks, I wish you would chat in a question or a comment. I know there's a discrepancy in even this audience about the Jews in Jerusalem. A lot of people are down on the Jews. But, our position with Israel and the Middle East is critical. We must have Israel. It's the only thing that holds together, actually, the Middle East. If there's anything good about it, the fact is all Muslims hate. So at least all the countries, the Shia and the Sunni countries, they don't fight because they all join together against Israel. I am not a person that believes Israel on the moon. I'm not. But I do know, I know, Mary Ellen, would you tell the audience why Israel is important to us biblically?
well, Israel is God's chosen people. We don't know why God chose them, but he did. And he said that Jerusalem is his city, his chosen city. And so, he also told Abraham that if you bless Abraham's descendants, you'll be blessed. And if you curse Abraham's descendants, you'll be cursed. So it's important for us to stand with them, because if we insist on their dividing the land, we'd have trouble coming to us. And I have noticed over and over and over again, Katrina is one of the biggest examples. But when our president has tried to push land for peace, something terrible has happened to our country. The Northridge earthquake in California, Hurricane Katrina, it was blowing by and it zoomed into a Category 5 and hit, and that happened within 24 hours of what Bush did with Israel. And that's happened again and again. Hurricane Andrew in Florida is another example.
Well, and you see, guys, all know I'm trying to get religion on them. Constitution. They're trying to whittle away at it. They're constantly seeking ways or trying to come up with ways to discredit the Bible. Why? Why would they care about that? Why would our government go to the extremes it's gone? To kick out the Bible, to kick out Christianity. Folks, I'll tell you, if you've ever been around Washington, D.C., on the inside, in the meetings, the talks, it's horrible. Now, thinking back on it, it's horrible. Because you see, if you're a Christian, there's one God. One God. You see, in Washington, they need the one God to be Washington. They can't compete. They don't want to compete. They don't want you answering to a higher authority. They don't want a higher authority putting out morality. They want to put it out. They want to determine what is right and wrong. And the Bible goes against almost everything socialism is. It's against it. So you can see historically how they have been moved and kicked the Bible, Christianity out of our way of life at every chance they've had. The same's true with the Constitution. I was just on the call. We were talking about November 2020. If that election goes bad, if the Democrats make president, and if the Democrat wins the presidency, I can see where we would have both houses very close to probably turning Democratic, Senate and the House. Now, if that happens, what happens? What happens the day after that new government is put in? Will there be an immediate collapse? Will they immediately say, we're changing, and this is what's going to go on? I don't know. I don't think so. If they follow their same trend, what they're going to do is they're not going to just openly do away with the Constitution. They're not going to wake up one day and say, okay, folks, the Constitution's gone. It's outdated. It's gone. And then what they'll do is they will start attacking different amendments, first, second, third, etc. And they'll just keep whittling them down, until the Constitution really isn't the Constitution anymore. At least not the one that we live by. They'll do that. Probably one of the first things that they'll do day one after they win, if they did. And y'all going to not like this one. But very soon after they take office, they will nationalize the banks. They will do that right out of the chute. Now, some of you are saying, oh, goodness, how can they do that? Let me tell you how they'll do it. They will most probably create a crisis in the financial community, create this crisis, whether one exists or doesn't. They'll create one. And then the resolution will be those big banks have done all this to the American people. And so the only way to resolve it is to nationalize it. Nationalize the banks and make them a government agency. Now, when that happens, as was the case in Cyprus, Greece, other places, in Greece, I'm working with a group there that's trying to gather back their country after they lost it. And they can get like $65 a week out of their bank, and that's it. Think about that. You got $1 million in the bank, all you can get out a week is $65. That'll happen. That'll happen as sure as I'm sitting here. Is that what any of you want? You know, I've told you over and over and over. If you got money and you can't touch it, then it's not yours. You understand what I'm telling you? If you got money in the bank but you can't touch it, it's not yours. Because any day, they can close that puppy down for some crisis, and you're left out in the cold, such as was the case when the savings and loan debacle took place, and they rolled over. This is not a joke. This is not a game. This is not a movie. This is the real world. And if you can't tell people like that Cortez, they hate this country. They hate everything about this country. Most of the candidates running, if they were saying what they're saying today in their campaign 20 years ago, they would be committing treason. But today, it's the cool thing to do. It's the cool thing to say. So the question comes, what do we do about it? What do we do about it? Now, I've told you we're going to make phone calls. That's your job. You'll make them when you're told and say what you're told to say, please. That's the point. Y'all make them at the same time. It gives us more power. But the other part of the plan is we're going to go and we're going to solicit and we're going to get at least 100 candidates, hopefully, to run for the House of Representatives. Yes, 100. And they're going to be regular, everyday people. Truck drivers, waitresses, secretaries, nurses, businessmen. The only prohibition is they can't be a standing politician or a lifetime politician, and they can't be a lawyer. Somebody asked me why lawyers. I guess maybe you would ask me why we not want lawyers, but I go back to our founding fathers. Our founding fathers, when they set this government up, there were two classes of people that were not allowed to participate in the government. One was witches, the other was barristers. Barrister was the name back then for attorneys. And they didn't want them in government in any way, because if they ever got in positions of government, they would be able to bend laws to do what? To benefit their clients. That's exactly what's happened. Today, it's hard to find a politician that's not a lawyer. There's got to be doctors. There's got to be people out there that have a commitment to the country. You know, what we're looking for is common sense. Maybe we don't find the most intellectually stimulating people in the world, but they got to have common sense. The other thing they've got to have is honor. And they've got to have a dedication to our Constitution and our country. That's the three qualities we want. And if you wonder if somebody like the secretary or a nurse or a truck driver or a waitress or whoever could be smart enough or be good enough for that job, I simply give you Cortez at AOC. Obviously, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to be a member of Congress. If that were the case, she couldn't be there. No, our government was founded on the principle of taking the people. The people govern themselves. The people, not a class, not a group. The people, all of us. So any of you that would be interested in running for representative seat in your district, you need to let us know. And we need to know now. And all you've got to come up with, folks, is whatever the filing fee is. You come up with that. Get with people, maybe we can even help you come up with that. The campaign's going to be run from one place. One, here, me. And all of these candidates are going to use the same platform. We're going to run as a unit with the design purpose of being, when the Democrats get through beating each other up in their primary. The good news is the Justice Democrats have made a commitment to virtually do the same thing we're doing. They're going to put in the primary these congressmen Democrats. They want them out. They want their people in. So there's going to be competition for the first time in a long time in the Democratic primary for as many of the congressional seats as that Justice Democrat can get candidates to run. So there's going to be a big battle. The good news is, in that battle, they're going to spend money. And when they spend that money, that hurts them in the general election. Because any money that they can get by without spending in a primary, they need in the general election. So it's going to draw down their money. The other thing it's going to do, it's going to cut them up. You know, campaigns and primaries get nasty. They'll get nasty there as well. So the candidates who come out, they'll come out scarred, at least scarred. Here's the kicker. You see, when they come out in that shape, they're going to need candidates that they can beat easily running as Republicans. What better candidates to run against they will think than our bunch of hayseed regular people running. They'll think they can walk all over us. They'll beat us without any trouble. And it's because of that, don't you see, that the media is going to pick up on them. The media is going to help our guys. If I'm right, the media will help our guys win in the Republican primaries that we'll have to run. Our people can win because the media will do for our people what they did for Trump. They will spend every bit of oxygen trying to get our guys elected due to the fact they'll be so easy to beat in the general election. So they think. So they think. But we're not going to be easy to beat. We're not. We're going to run under a campaign of never socialism. Our candidates are going to run standing up for fighting socialism in this country. And we're going to activate our base, the 60% of the conservative base that may not want to give it off in this election just because of one thing or another. They just don't want to vote or won't go out and go to the trouble. They'll go to the trouble if they understand fully that this is a fight for saving our country from socialism. They will come out to vote for that. If we can get our base activated and if we've got candidates that we can get to run, there's a good chance, folks, we can get a number of seats in the House and a number of seats in the Senate. I would like to see, if we run 100 candidates, I'd like to see 50 in the House, 10 in the Senate. Now, that's my dream number. I have no delusions of grandeur here. I mean, I know reality. Probably won't get that many. But if we get many at all, if we get any at all, we've taken a step towards victory. I promise you. But above all else, you've got to remember, we must keep President Trump president. Let me explain why. Again, this is all stuff you need to be able to pass on to people as you talk to them. If somehow the Democrats are successful with all the gerrymandering, with all the rigging, getting illegals, getting 16-year-olds, whatever tricks they're going to pull with all of the gimme programs they're going to offer people, there is a chance they could take the House again and maybe make inroads towards gaining the Senate. If they get the House and the Senate, we are dead as a nation except for one thing. If President Trump is there. If he's there, he's got the ability to shut down the legislation they would bring out. Does that make sense to any of you? Do you understand that? That's why Trump, above all else, we have to keep Trump in. He's our only safety valve. Not to mention the fact that he's trying to do the things that he said he would do. Pound for pound, I have never known a presidential candidate, I've never known a candidate, period, that has tried as hard as he has to maintain the fidelity to his campaign promises. for him to do what he said he would do when he was running. I've never seen one as committed to living up to what he promised as President Trump. I haven't. Folks, that goes a long way in my book. A long way. Mary Ellen, anybody with questions or comments yet?
Yes, sir. This last one, there's a discussion about AOC and the chance of her being the basically the head of the Democratic Party right now and replacing Pelosi. What do you think about that?
Well, I think she is raising a faction that will split the Democratic Party loyalty. I don't think she yet would have the power to overtake Pelosi totally. But this young crowd that's coming, Pelosi sees it. She knows what I know. This young crowd coming in can destroy the Democratic Party, the system that they've had and enjoyed for so many years. They're coming in wild, and they're coming in pushing programs that Pelosi and them want just as bad as they do. But Pelosi and them think it's better to do it gradually than to do what they're doing. And she's right. But I don't see Cortez taking, quote, any official kind of position that would cause Pelosi trouble. But now, unofficially, she's giving Pelosi all kinds of trouble. And we're going to capitalize on it. At least we're going to try. What else you got?
Okay. Do you think our Constitution is in jeopardy?
I know it is. Now, let me answer that. I don't think I know our Constitution is in peril. Guys, they're working now to whittle down the value of our Constitution. They're doing it amendment by amendment. Look at what they're doing to the Second Amendment. Oh, yeah, they would love to pass a thing and just outlaw all guns, period. But they know they can't do that, so what do? They do it systematically. They pick one gun, magazines, or whatever, and they just constantly pick at it. That's just an example of free speech. You gotta be kidding me. When the President of the United States has to issue an executive order forcing colleges to allow opposition views to the liberal junk that's there. Don't you see? That means our Constitution, the First Amendment, is in jeopardy. And he had to come in and try to stop it. Now you can bet that presidential executive order will be in court. And guess what? It'll go into a federal court. And guess where that court, whose judge will be, or what the judge will be? The judge will rule against it. And it will go to the Supreme Court. And right now, I can't tell you what the Supreme Court will do. I would hope it would do the honest and the proper thing. But my days of believing that have long since passed. What else you got, Ken?
What about the censorship that we've got going on? Do you think we're going to end up with an alternative means of communication?
Don't know. I have no idea. But I do know this, that the social media is going to continue to be censored. Conservative views on the internet are going to be continually knocked out of the box. They're not going to let the internet run free during this next campaign cycle. It will not happen. And guys, when they're able, it's one thing for them to censor me.
Yeah, what do you think about the states that are leaving the Electoral College?
Well, I think about that about like I do states that have become sanctuary states. What's the difference today with these states breaking away from the law, federal law, on their own? And let's say the states that succeeded from the Union back in the Civil War days. What's the difference? To me, there's none. At the same time, I value states' rights. So states should have the autonomy to do what the people of the state want. But there are some things that I find are wrong. You really can't just violate the law. If that's the federal law and they refuse to enforce it, fine. Let them do it. That's their right. You understand? Under states' rights, that's their right. But when they do, then they should be cut off from federal funding. It's wrong. It's wrong to dissolve the Electoral College for the single reason that they're doing it. The Democrats can't win as easily if they have to play by the rules of the Electoral College. That means every state is in play, and they don't want it that way. They want to be able to count on and rely on Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta, Chicago, and a few other liberal strongholds that have huge numbers of votes. And then they get victory from now on. So no, get rid of the Electoral College for the purpose of just changing the rules so the Democrats can win. That's wrong. That is wrong. And the people of those states that are doing that should be ashamed of themselves.
There was a question about Israel shooting protesters.
What?
There was a question about Israel shooting protesters.
I don't know. I don't know about that. My opinion is I would doubt that Israel would just openly do it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I can't believe it would be a policy. And the idea to shoot protesters. Now, I'm telling you, some protesters get to the point where you kind of think they need shooting, but you can't do that. So I don't know, Alan. I don't know enough about that to answer it really.
Randy wrote in that the sheriffs in Southern Illinois are refusing to enforce the gun laws that Illinois is putting forward. They had a town hall meeting and they're rebelling against the Democratic governor.
But let me tell you, the county sheriff still, to this day, has power. Awesome power. The county sheriff does. So I'm tickled to see sheriffs stand up against some of this. But they're there every day on the streets. They see the crime. They see what illegal immigration is doing. They see it every day. They have to work with it. And to be quite honest, Mariana, the laws are so confusing now. I don't see how they do their jobs. I don't. But that's what it's going to take in these states where the government's controlled by the Democrats, and the Democrats are hell-bent to destroy this nation by letting millions and millions and millions of people in here illegally. Somebody's got to stop it, and it starts and can start at the county sheriff level. They can put a stop to it in their county. They control what's going on in their county. The governor doesn't. What else?
We had a couple other, and they've disappeared. Is there a way to stop the states from getting rid of the Electoral College?
No. Well, when you say getting rid of the Electoral College, what the states are doing is they apparently, I think, this is my opinion, I haven't seen any of the actual state legislations or what they're voting for, but most probably what they're doing, they're not getting rid of the Electoral College, they're just rigging it so that whoever wins the popular vote gets all of the Electoral College votes. I don't think they can get rid of the Electoral College and refuse to send delegates to the Electoral College. I just don't think they can do that. It would be an interesting protest if they do. What do you do? What we do? What we do is say 10 states vote to drop out of the Electoral College process totally and refuse to send delegates to the Electoral College gathering meetings. What happens? Would we go ahead and count the Electoral College votes and exclude those? I don't know. I mean, that's one of those, and I hate to say it, if they're doing that, if you go to federal court, and I don't like the way that would sound. I don't like the way that would be. The both states have got, like California. California's violated its mutual transactions with the federal government beyond belief. California exists today because of me and you, people that don't live in California. And good part of our tax dollars go to California. And they're in that for their failed progressive agendas. So it's okay if California wants to stop doing anything the federal government requires. They can do it. That's sovereignty, states' rights. But the federal government has got to stop sending them money. Hey, you want to walk alone as a state, walk alone. But don't walk alone. I mean, draw to the people of the United States. It's wrong. It's inherently wrong. Anything else? Yeah.
No, that I think we need to stop. I've got a bad storm blowing in, and I would kind of like to get away from the window.
Well, folks, here's what I need you all to do today. As I've told you, nothing's been coming in. Got $5 for Cindy yesterday. Thank you, Cindy, so much. But I want to see people participate today. Can you please? Please. You know, this is gut check time. It's time for us all to check our guts. It's time for all of us to reach out and pound the floor. Are we in this thing or are we not? So can you please go to my PayPal account, NicholsLive@AOL.com. NicholsLive@AOL.com. And for once in our lives, everybody today participate in some way. If it's $1, if it's $1,000, participate some way today. We got the weekend coming up, and that's a weird time. Please, man, will you give them the PayPal account so they can hear it clearly instead of my own voice?
Yeah, the PayPal is NicholsLive@AOL.com. NicholsLive@AOL.com. There's a link directly to that on our website, NicholsLive.com. There's also a couple other alternatives. If you join the conference call tonight at 8 o'clock Central, we give out information. You can ask me directly for alternative ways to send money. You cannot send checks. He has no way to cash checks or money orders. Cash can be sent in the mail in small denominations. And it's PayPal is the best and fastest way to get anything to him, and that's nicholslive@aol.com.
And listen, guys, will you do that for me today? Will everybody show up? Please. You know, it's confidence time. I gotta know that there's a group that stands behind us, that we're in it together. I need you to help today. Gut check time. Please. This is the only country we've got, and we cannot afford to lose it. And once again, I know we've got to go over, but once again, folks, we have a plan to try to help slow this destruction of our country down. If nothing else, slow it down. Hopefully stop it. But we've got a plan. I've told you parts of it. It's not a joke. It's not pie in the sky. It's the real deal. But I gotta have help to do it. Now, if somebody else has a plan and you would rather support them, I'm all for that. I am. My problem is I don't see other people coming up with ways to stop it. I see a lot of people aggregating all of the stories and telling you the same thing that everybody else is telling you. And I know there's people out there putting out conspiracy stuff on the internet for whatever value or purpose that serves. But we have a plan here, and we're going to implement it. We're going to do it. But today, let me see everybody participate. Today, would you please, so we at least have a body count of how many people we can count on. Because I don't care if it's a quarter, 50 cents, or $1,000. Hopefully, everyone's got 1,000. But I want to see it today. So we've got a body count, whether we know we've got anybody with us. And thanks to all the people, of course, that have helped before. I'm asking you to help again today. So, Mary Ellen, keep you out of the storm. I mean, I guess we can say goodbye for the weekend. What about you? Is there anything you want to bring up?
Yeah, I had promised people I'd show the T-shirt today, and I found a better place for my computer where I had better lighting, but everything is backwards, and so I
can't with the T-shirt on eBay or whatever.
Yes, you can see it. You can see it on the website nicholslive.com.
Okay.
So that's what you're gonna have to do. Sorry, I was gonna show it to you today, but it's backwards, and that's just kind of defeats the purpose. So.
Well, we're trying to get together the next printing of it. So if you want the T-shirt, please let us know. We're trying to get enough for another printing. So let us know. Mary Ellen, thank you, folks. Have a good weekend. Let's shift in today. Let me see you be there today, please. Mary Ellen?
That's it here. Thank you, folks. Have a great weekend. We'll talk again on Monday, same time.
Thank you. Good day.
Yep, and that's thunder you hear in the background, so